2016. I'm like eating breakfast at a diner. It's nice. And the waitress had like a huge Trump button on. It was like, okay, you know, and you wouldn't see that in Portland or most cities. And so I had a nice breakfast and, you know, I didn't say anything. She brought me the check and I handed her back the check and said, Mexico will pay for it. And I ate free there the whole week. It was great. I really made it work for me. It was very good. And you know, I just, things are just boiled down to the basics now, what's moral and what isn't. And at least, you know, I love to listen to Bernie Sanders, you know? Bernie Sanders had it right all along, didn't he? He did. And no one says the word oligarchy like Bernie. This is an oligarchy. Say it with me. Oligarchy. It is. It's like Elon Musk spent $260 million to elect Donald Trump. This is not democracy. This is oligarchy. I just want to go out to dinner with Bernie, you know? It's just like, I'll have the mashed potatoes, the pork chops, but no oligarchy. I don't want any oligarchy whatsoever. RFK Jr. Oh, he's a class act, isn't he? Oh my God, Elon Musk. I have to admit something. My husband and I, 2 years ago, let me just put it this way. It's an odd time when I can be out about my gay relationship, but in the closet about my Tesla. I have a bumper sticker on that says, this is a Buick Regal. Just, you know. We try to use a self-driving right to a bunker of Proud Boys. It goes, you know, right there. And it's like RFK Jr. I mean, he actually said, I've looked at the things he said in the past. He said that homosexuality can be caused by certain pesticides. I remember when I was 11, my parents took me to be crop dusted. And Canada? Who could turn Canada against us? Only Donald Trump. Our finest ally in every way, socially, economically, politically, in the history of this country, and they hate us now. You know, it's like, what did they ever do to us? I found out like 7 years ago, a rabid beaver came across the border and bit Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's what happened. Okay, no Marjorie? It's just the meanness of these people. She's half German, half shepherd, that woman. Have you met Marjorie? It used to be that Republican candidates were just not bright, all right? Now they're not bright and evil, right? Remember Dan Quayle? Forget Sarah Palin. Remember Dan Quayle? Anybody? Went up to Gorbachev and said, what's that thing on your head? Gorbachev said, it's a birthmark. Quayle said, how long have you had it? It's like, can't make this stuff up. And Bush talked to us like we were in the 3rd grade. You ever listen to George Bush? The hurricane is in the water. When the hurricane hits the land, there will be an emergency on the land. People safety, when will the hurricane hit the land? When will it make landfall? Well, I'm the decider. I decide when the hurricane... I did that in Texas. I had to play Texas. Did 400 shows in Texas and lived. I did that. Some kid ran up to me after the show and said, you should listen to President Bush like he listens to the country. So I did. I tapped his phone without a court order. They always come up to the show after me in Texas. I can see them coming a mile away. I had this one drunk guy, big guy, he goes, who are you, the president of France? I said, yes, sir, I am the president of France. And if you can name me 2 presidents of France, I'll let you beat the Pompidou out of me. And there's half the answer. Everything is so fraught now. It really is. Anyone have a friend named Karen? Do you? Your friend's daughter? Has she changed her name? It's awful. Gary and I have a friend named Karen. It's so bad, she changed her name to Hitler. And her wife had to change her name to Eva Braun. I mean, it just keeps on giving. That's what it does. I come from a long line of Republicans in my family, And my grandmother was really, really conservative in the 50s. Anyone from Republican families? Okay, okay, there'll be a therapy group after the show. Maybe the show is the therapy group. My grandmother, she refused to carry a Roosevelt dime until the day she died. It was great. At her funeral, after everyone left the gravesite, I threw in a Kennedy $50 and a Roosevelt dime. She's buried with 60 cents of Democrats, whether she likes it or not. But it was the 50s, man. I was young, but I heard it all. She talked smack about, she hated Catholics. We were raised Lutheran, just hated Catholics. Talked about smack about Jews, homosexuals, black people. My older sister married a Jewish man. My next older sister married a Catholic. I'm gay. My younger sister married a black man, ladies and gentlemen. My grandmother has rolled over in the grave so many times she's rotated away to China. And she's not coming back because of the tariffs. All right. Oh, God. So before I bring up our first act, I enjoy doing political humor. It does get a little edgy sometimes. And I remember about 20 years ago, Art and I, very good friends with an agent. We had Jerry Durham for many years, great agent. And Jerry, this is about 2005, he had all his acts. He had musical acts and comedy acts. And he invited buyers, city officials from towns and cities all over Oregon to come, and we each got 10 minutes as a showcase in the Doubletree Hotel. And this was for people who booked comics or musical acts for banquets and city events and so forth. So people were there from Salem, Corvallis, Roseburg, Hillsborough, Baker City, whatever. And it was a good crowd, and we each got 10 minutes. I felt I had a really good set doing current events material. So then people filled out a feedback form, and Jerry sent us all the feedback form, and I'm reading my feedback form, and it was like, oh, really funny, we have to book him. Excellent, had a lot of laughs. Oh, he was terrific, let's keep in touch and get a booking. And then there's one line that said, funny, but too intense for Tillamook. I've done 2,664 shows in the state of Oregon. I have yet to play Tillamook. I am going to end my career there and rock that fucking town. You guys ready for a great show tonight? All right. A lot of my students are here. Alice, good to see you, and Calvin, and I'll introduce some of my students, and if you're interested in taking the class here, it's portlandcomedy.com. We have 2 stand-up courses a quarter, as well as an array of improv courses. portlandcomedy.com. You're always welcome to do it. Joining me now on stage, or replacing me now on stage, a young guy who is really funny. He's in his second class with me. He's got a great perspective, and I started at the Comedy Store in 1980, and Mitzi Shore, the owner, said, the Comedy Store is America's town hall, where everyone with a different viewpoint comes, and we get to learn about different people, different parts of the country, different religions, everything different, because diversity, she said, is the key. So let's remember that everybody has a different voice. Please welcome Mohammed Mo Rahman, ladies and gentlemen. Mohammed! Yep. Oh, it's got Mo groupies! I love you too. Body up, body up, body yaddy 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 ba da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba ba ba. You guys might be wondering why I'm staring at you. I had a good friend of mine tell me the best way to calm nerves is to imagine everyone you look at naked. And I am trying my best. It is not working.
Hopefully you're nervous, which will then make me less nervous. I appreciate you. I wanted to start off and say, I appreciate some of my friends, my wife, and some others, some of my classmates for coming to see this set. I know it's a set that they've seen before. So I want to apologize for nothing. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I may be rich after this. We'll see. I know you guys are wondering, my name is Mohammed Mo Rahman. This is my second time, not my 2,720, like Coach Carl said. This is my second time doing this. And I know some of you are looking at me and you're thinking, wondering, perusing, pontificating. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. I do. Without a doubt. Unequivocally. Without any remorse. Love. 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 Pork. I love pork. It is the best thing. I grew up Muslim, but I don't know. The pork, I don't know. It's really good. It's delicious, delectable, devilish, divine, swine. Yes, I do love it. Pepperoni was the gateway. Pizza. Yeah, high school. That's how it happens. I grew up religious. I guess you guys can guess how I grew up, right? Jewish. So, therefore, it doesn't really work. No, I wasn't Jewish. I grew up Buddhist. The Great Migrations. I happen to be a descendant of the Great Migrations. I had a lot of family that moved from Mississippi to the Detroit, Chicago area, and then the Frisco, Oakland area. And I used to love going to my grandma's house in Detroit every summer. I think my mom loved it too, which is interesting because I was talking to my wife, I was like, we've never sent our daughters away. What are we doing? Like, we should have a summer, where it could just be me and you figuring things out. We haven't figured it out. But I love going to my Grandma Rose's house. When you're a kid, you do things like you go out, you get the jars, you go get the bees and the butterflies, and you put them in the jar, and you poke holes in them, and you put the grass in it, and you walk around, and you look at them fight each other, and you're doing science experiments, and you're riding your bikes, and you're hitting wheelies, right? All the fun things. There was one element of the neighborhood that was a little interesting. We're riding our bikes, we're popping wheelies. Make sure I got the mic right. We're popping wheelies, and then we see some kids up the street. And usually they have their shirts off, and they're walking through the street like this, and they got pit bulls, and they're just walking in the middle of the street. And as soon as we see them, we scram. We just ride. We try to be cool. No, I don't see them. I'm just gonna ride this way. I don't even see it. Don't ride too fast. Don't let them. No, they don't see you. Just chill. Just go to the porch. Go to Grandma's porch. We go on Grandma's porch. Our uncle, he'll bring us some bacon sandwiches. Me turkey. And we get up on the porch. And I had a friend who lived across the street. His name was Leon. He was really tall. He had really long legs. And he wore shorts. Cut too. He actually cut them. I used to always be like, Leon, why does he wear those short shorts like that with those long legs? It's a little too sensual. But why? So Leon, he comes up on the porch with us. He eats his sandwich. He drinks all the Gatorade, or all the Kool-Aid. And when he comes up, he goes, hey, Mo. What's that right there? He had this like lisping thing he did. Hey, Mo, what's that right there? And I'm like, that's my wrestling belt. I just made it. And he's like, I'll take that belt from you. You ain't shit. I'll whoop your ass. And I'm like, you just ate my bacon sandwich that my uncle made. You just drunk the Kool-Aid and now you want to take my belt? Let's do it. So we go out on the front yard and we start wrestling. And I'm wrestling him and I'm doing a good job. I'm like, we're grappling and grappling. I get him like this. I get him in the, I do a little suplex, because I used to call it suplex until a couple of days ago. Suplex. And I suplex him and I land and I hold him like this. I got him like this. And they count 1, 2, 3. Leon won. Because he was on top of me. I was like, what the fuck? I had him like this, but he was, my knee, he was like this. He was on top of me and he won. And I was like, fuck that guy. How do I get that guy? You know how I got him? Took some old bacon fat and I put it in a jar and I poured some Kool-Aid in it, stirred it up, and gave it to him. And he drank it and he liked it. And so did I. I liked it a lot. I don't think he ever knew. He thought it was delicious. I had an uncle, Uncle Mark. He never wanted me to get near pork. Even if the pork was cooking. Hey, Momo, what you doing? Get away from that pork. Don't even smell it. I don't want to deal with your mama. Like, get away from the pork. But the funny thing is, in his next breath, he would go, actually, I would like you to go to the store for me. Take this note, go get yourself some popsicles, your friends too, and get me some cigarettes. So on the one hand, he didn't want me to eat pork, but I could take a note as an 8-year-old to the Viceroy corner store and buy some Moore's Long cigarettes. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. I never got that. Never got that. If I had my own show, it would be a Bourdainish smorgasbord of delectable treats. I'd travel the world. Bacon. Pancetta. Pork chops. Loins. Easter ham. Christmas ham. Memorial ham. Juneteenth ham. Wait a minute. You guys hear that? Can you hear that? I don't know. Sometimes when I'm talking about these things, I feel like I can look off in the corner and I see like, how you doing? I see a group of Muslims looking at me. Hijab, just eyes showing. Sort of like the Jets from the West Side Story. Just, no, Haram Ramadan. No, Haram Ramadan. And I get the shivers. I get scared. 2nd grade. Anyone remember 2nd grade? Oh, 2nd grade. I had a teacher. I don't remember her face or her really. I do remember she loved to sing. Therefore, I remember her breath. She was a beautiful singer. Brett? Not so much. Her name was Miss Hogg. She was the choir teacher as well. So she came up to me one day, she heard me singing a song, it was probably like, "Cool it now," something like that. It was during that time. Early 80s. And she said, "You should be in the Christmas pageant." And I was like, "I don't know, I don't really celebrate Christmas, I don't know about that." She was like, "But you could sing, you should do it." I'm like, "Okay." So me and two girls were the leads in the Christmas pageant. I guess right now I'd say they're cuties, but back then they were cooties. It was second grade. And she had us sing, you know? Come, they told me, pa-rum-pa-bum-pum. I heard someone. A newborn king to see, pa-rum-pa-bum-pum. Our finest gifts we bring, pa-rum-pa-bum-pum. To lay before the king, pa-rum-pa-bum-pum, rum-pa-bum-pum, rum-pa-bum-pum. I love you, thank you. But the funny thing is, I look in the crowd and I see my mom and dad, and they're kind of halfway into it. You know, they're kind of like, "Okay, my son's singing, but it's kind of Christmassy." And then I look over, and once again, I see that Muslim. I don't know if it's like in my subconscious or something, but I just see someone looking at me. No, Haram Ramadan. No, Haram Ramadan. Imagine, Ramadan is in a couple of days, so I gotta get my shit together. Yeah. Has anyone in here ever played this game called Picture Imagine? Picture Imagine?
No. Do it.
No one's played the game Picture Imagine? I want you guys, I'm gonna play this game with you. I would like you guys to close your eyes. Trust me, I know you don't know me. I'm not jumping off the stage yet. Okay? Trust me, close your eyes. We're just going to do this game. Okay? Okay. Thank you. Imagine a bucolic, tree-lined streets, dogs yapping, babies in the area, maybe a milkman walking up to the fence. "Hi, ma'am." Kids playing. Strollers. Sunshine. Keep your eyes closed. Now also imagine ghetto birds, pimps, hustlers, drug dealers, kids in the street playing football, chalk outlines, ghetto birds in the sky, and then mix them. That's where I grew up, Oakland. There, you have an idea of where I grew up. How do you feel? You feel like you know me a little bit better? Kinda? Sorta? No? Did you go to sleep? Please don't say yes. You okay? Okay, that's where I grew up, Oakland. I've been here 20 years. I know some people from Portland are like, "Get away." Sometimes I sing when I'm on stage just to timestamp what I'm talking about, so enjoy. Girl, I know this might seem strange, but let me know if I'm out of order for stepping to you this way. Who knows that song? It's only a few people? Oh my gosh. This is not the... So I was a middle school teacher for many years. I have a friend of mine who worked with me. She's here. Thank you for coming. I'm not going to point her out. She's right there. No. And so, you know, you go through this training to be a teacher, and they never really train you on some of the important things you need. You know, you talk about theorists and Durkheim and, you know, Piaget and maybe Paulo Freire if you're lucky. But the one thing they don't teach you about, besides classroom management, that's a tough one, that's challenging, is they don't teach you how to properly, succinctly, safely take like bio breaks, you know, or if you need to like release your DELF, so to speak. They don't really teach you that. You have to kind of figure it out on your own. Case in point, you got a classroom, 35 students. Yes, 35 students. And you're trying to run the classroom. Hey, Malik, go ahead, sit down. Come on now, relax, relax. Naima, do you need some help? No? You good? Okay. Jose. I thought you just went to the bathroom. What do you mean you gotta go again? Sit down. And you're walking up to a student and you're walking up to help them. And Heidi can attest to this. I don't know if this happened to her. This happened to me. And you walk up to a student and all of a sudden you feel this rumble. You feel this like, right? And you don't know if it's like, you don't know if they can hear it. Like, you're like, I know I felt it. Was that my inner ear that I heard it? And then, or did they hear it? And then, you know, you get the rumble and you feel it all the way like in your taint. And it's like, you're like in this position where you're like, uh-oh, hey, Naima, are you okay? And you start, like I'm sweating now, you start sweating and there's like one piece of sweat and you just taste that like sweet desperation and you're trying to figure out, you got 35 kids, how am I going to get out of here? And you have to come up with an excuse or something to do, so you got to think quick. This is part of the teaching profession. And you got to think quick, and so you're like, I'm going to make something up. Hey, students, you guys hear that in the hallway? And they'll be like, Mr. Rahman, no, it's quiet. You know what? I heard, let me go check on that. I heard something, and you just kind of like walk out like, oh, okay. Soon as you get in the hallway, and it's quiet, and you're like, I don't want this to make too much noise because it's quiet, you know, all those things you have to deal with. Soon as you let it go, bell rings, students just start swarming into the hallways, and you're like walking around like, how do I get this away from me? I need to figure out, I'm gonna go over here. But as the students come, you just think to yourself like, they're middle schoolers. They already stink. They won't even notice. I just gotta play it off. Just walk back in the classroom like nothing happened. Like, I'm good. I feel better, you know? Just things they need to work on. That's all. I miss being a teacher. For the most part. It's a tough job. Challenging job. Miss the kiddos. Kids nowadays. I have 2 daughters. 10th grade, sorry I'm breathing into the mic, but I just said I have 2 daughters, so you gotta forgive me. 10th grade and 7th grade. 10th grader, super debater. It's a good thing, kind of type A, so awesome, but it's draining as fuck. And then I have a 7th grader. Lately, she's been getting sick with everything. Hand, mouth, foot, flu A, flu B, flu Z, C, like, come on, I can't put her in a bubble. I love them though. I'm just saying. I was sorry. I just started thinking about them and just started talking. I'm back. Okay, so kids nowadays, you know, they have this lingo. You know, back when I was a kid, the lingo was like, "Hey, that's cool. That was dope. That was dope. Yeah, that was dope." You know, that was fresh. You know, icy. You know, and then I started teaching middle school, and it was like, lit. It's lit. It's on fleek. And I was like, what is? I never understood on fleek. I think it's good, but I just never understood it. And nowadays, and I could be already past this time, but nowadays they go alpha, beta, theta, sigma, Freud, yes. No cap, cap. Split, splat, yeah. No cap, splash, split, what? And to top it off, what the fuck is a skibbity toilet? I still don't understand what that is. I know some of you are like, he's speaking Mandarin, but like, these kids say this nowadays. Skibbity toilet, Ohio, Riz, something. I don't know what it means. I'm lost. I feel like I've hit that age where it's like 6, 7, all that. I don't get it. I've hit the age where I think I'm on the older age of being old, because all the lingo now just doesn't make sense to me, and I don't even want to try to learn it. All right, I will finish up. Like I said, I have my friends here. I have and you guys are my friends too. I don't know you, but we can be friends. And I have my wife here, and I know she's probably turning beet red, but she's in the dark, so you can't see it.
She's right here.
That's my girl, Sarah. And you know, I'm hoping that this display of trying to be a comic has done something for our relationship, and I would love to bring back some old school lingo between me and her. And babe, can we pork tonight? Because I would love to pork tonight. What do you say? You gave me 2 thumbs up? I mean, you said that last time. So I'm just trying to, we got a lot of witnesses, so I'm trying to make sure you're gonna be like, she didn't do it again. All right, Joe, that's my time. Thank you very much. Mohammed Mo Rahman, ladies and gentlemen.
I didn't mean to call you young. I don't know what's young anymore. My students range from 17 to 83. How old is Mo? 49?
Almost. 48, 49 in a week.
49 in a week. Okay. Well, you're not young. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I mislabeled you. I have one of my students, Chris, is like 26. Where's Chris? And I learned the word Riz. Anyone heard that? This is good for me in class. It's from charisma. Right? I got Riz. My students, they really kid me. They go, "Do you know what a meme is?" Yeah, I know what a meme is. Yes, thank you. Got another word for me, Chris?
Motion.
Motion.
Right.
Which means?
You have like authority, I guess. Or you have say.
I have what?
You have say.
I have say.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got motion.
I got motion.
Yeah, there. That.
Thank you.
People are listening.
I'm sure these people agree. Look at them. I don't see motion. I just, one more hand for Mo Rahman, who works so hard for you. I will say that young people do have better names, first names. You'll love the punchline. That was just the setup. If I can get laughs on a setup, ladies and gentlemen, I could play fucking Tillamook. I'll tell you that. So, Gary and I are buying tickets over at Lloyd Cinemas for a movie. And all the kids there are like 16, 17 that work there. And the kid that's been there for years, his name is Maximus. Isn't that a great name? And I said to him, he's got little friends around, I said, you know, it's funny because we were out to dinner the night before and our server was Augustus. And I ordered the Caesar salad. I didn't want the Caesar salad, but I did it for the comedy. That's what I tell my students, do it for the comedy, all right? I was in college in the 70s, someone said you looked happy, I said, I'm gay, haha, and I've had to keep it up for 50 years. That's a lot of work, ladies and gentlemen. You follow through, right? Gary and I are celebrating our 29th anniversary this year. And he is, Gary's great. He is a little bit younger than me and more fit. He climbed Mount St. Helens, and I made it halfway up Mount Tabor. My Sherpa quit. You can't get a good Sherpa these days. You really can't. Gary played football in high school in South Dakota. His mascot was the Irrigators. Great cheer. You know, after 28, 29 years, it's not as exciting. You know what the anniversary is for the gift for 29? I looked it up tonight. Do you know what it is? Furniture. Furniture! You know what it is for 5 years when you're young and wood? Well, those were the days. Thank you, you're quick. Like I used to be. You know, it's not the same now. We're eating dinner the other night, and Gary says, "There's anything worse than hard butter?" I'm thinking, genocide? I don't know. Just a wild guess. The hardest thing was getting him by my conservative Fox-watching mother back in 1997, who lived in Florida. That tells you all you need to know. You know, I'd be down there, you know, this is my mom, and she accidentally bleached my Obama t-shirt, so I set fire to her Glenn Beck Christmas sweater. That's our relationship. So I take Gary down in 97 and we're eating dinner and my mother goes, "Now which one of you is gay?" And I'm like, okay. I mean, a lot harder than I thought. Which she followed up with, "Well, we didn't have homosexuals in the 1950s. And I said, "Well, somebody put the fins on those Cadillacs, you know, somebody did those beehive hairdos, come on." And, you know. We have a friend, Jenny, who also has a right-wing mother in Florida. She came out, she told her mother she was a lesbian, and her mother says, "Oh, what's next, Jenny? Heroin?" Lesbianism, the gateway drug. I remember in high school, my mother was always wondering, I was in high school, I was like 10th grade, and she sat me down on the stairs, going upstairs, I have to tell you a story. I read a story where this beautiful woman and a handsome man got married, and they went on their honeymoon, and the man didn't touch his bride. And it turned out he was a homosexual. And I said, "Do you have his number?" I didn't say it. I think my favorite moment with my mom, we went out, took her out to lunch in Florida, and we went to a Chinese restaurant, which was, you know, pushing the envelope for her. And they have these placemats where they have the Chinese, the year, the astrology or whatever. and they have the pictures, the rooster, and it happened to be the rooster year, and she goes, "Oh, look, it's the year of the cock." And I said, "Yes, every year is the year of the cock, Mom." All right. And I think it's because, homosexuality is just taboo for so long, and it wasn't visible. People just didn't, we weren't out back then. I mean, there are a lot of people in history who were gay. John Maynard Keynes, who invented the macroeconomics, modern macroeconomics. Alan Turing, who invented the modern computer, and George Santos, who invented everything, really. Thanks for getting that. And then there are people in history that I think were gay, but we'll never know. Like Marco Polo, right? Think about it. It's the mid-13th century. Vandals have sacked Europe. Crusaders have sacked the Middle East. He's off looking for silks and spices, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, if you're gay in the year 1276, you just want a little nutmeg and a comfy caftan, really? And I just don't understand conservative gay people. That's the thing. They used to call them log cabin Republicans. Now they just call them LGBTQAnon. All right. Thank you for listening to all the gay material. I appreciate it. So are you ready for our headliner tonight? Yeah. Thank you, Mo, for being on the show. Was that a whale, or what was that? I can do 20 more minutes if you want. Now, it's a real honor to have Art on the show, and we're just talking in the green room. We've been doing it for, we were doing comedy before there were jokes. That's how long we were doing it. We were doing comedy when, the Koch brothers were Jim and John Belushi. That's how long we were doing comedy. And we've shared the stage so many times together. It's an honor to have him tonight. Please welcome Art Krug, ladies and gentlemen. Bring him up, Art.
Thank you, Carl. How about a little love for Carl? Thank you. Right, and for yourselves, really, I appreciate you guys coming out. Yeah, a lot of you have work tomorrow. I thank you so much for coming out. I haven't done a full-length comedy set in over a year now, so thank you for coming to my beginning of my comeback tour. Well, good news is that I wasn't that famous to begin with, so like 20 more people. I think we're back. So you guys are here. That really means a lot to me. And it's a weird weekend for me. I'll talk about that in a little bit. First Valentine's Day without my Valentine. I'll get to that. But it wasn't that big of a deal for us, honestly, to tell you the truth. We weren't that into Valentine. We'd give each other gifts every year. One year we decided we wanted to get each other a bidet seat because wanted to put the magic back in our lives. So we went out shopping for it. We started at Costco because, go big or go home when it comes to booty wash. Am I right? I mean, that's literally what nobody has ever said. But I didn't know where to look. We looked online. I found one for like $45 for a bidet seat that had cold water and a hand crank on it. Right? Like a slot machine that you really don't want to pay off, right? And then there was a more expensive one that was like $250 that actually had a remote control, which is awesome for playing practical jokes on house guests. I'm going to tell you, you can stand outside the bathroom door and you go, "You about done in there? Bingo!" It's nice of you to provide this whole little set for me just to do that one little, yeah. And this remote had all these features on it. One of them was called pulsing massage. Yeah, right? I'm not sure I need a massage for that area of my body, really. I store my tension in my shoulders, really. More than my sphincter, but, Okay. I guess. And then there was another feature called bubbling infusion. I don't even know what that is, but ew, no. It sounds like an Alka-Seltzer enema or like the worst jazz band ever. Welcome to Newport with their hit single, Hot Brown Wind. Bubbling infusion. Yeah, and then how it functions is that when you sit on it, a little metal bar comes out underneath your butt. If some of you've been on one of these, some of you, we're going, this is like underneath you. And like if you've ever been abducted by aliens, certainly trust issues are going to arise at that point. And it's like, whoa, my butt cheeks slammed together tight enough to crack walnuts. I'm like, okay, I think I knew I need a pulsing massage right about now. Okay, makes sense. And then one year she asked me she asked me for a teabag squeezer, which I'm like, well, I'm game, what is that? You know? Well, it turns out it's not an activity after all. And it sounds kinky and it sounds weird, it's not. All it is, it's just like tongs that are perforated on the top, and then the bottom half, cups your sack. So not weird. Nothing weird at all. But good luck finding it, man. I didn't know where to look. You go online, and you got to be careful with that. No, I went to Fred Meyer. Okay. And if anybody's been to a Fred Meyer lately, you can't find a clerk. Have you noticed that? Yeah, it's like they don't pay them enough or something, so they don't know where anything is. They don't want to talk to you. Right? God forbid you make eye contact with them. They bolt like a frightened deer. And then you got to chase them down. It turns into a game of Pac-Man in aisle 7. Okay, I got to go buy the toilet paper. All right, yeah, I'll go buy the meat department. Okay, the only way you can actually get a clerk is to corner them back by the paint, where they're like, okay, can I help you? And that's when you got to be really careful how you say, I'm looking for a teabag squeezer. You're gonna meet some security guards. Yeah. So she didn't know. She had no idea where to find it. She sent me off to Fantasy Adult Video, which seemed okay. Let's see where the logic is there. So I thought I'd check that out. Went there, and it turns out they had a huge kitchen section, surprisingly. No teabag squeezers. I did get a box of chocolate condoms, though. The trouble is I ate those on the way home. That's why they say never shop hungry. So I didn't know. Had to go online like I didn't want to do. And here's the tip for you. If you're ever going on the internet to do a search for a teabag squeezer, for the love of God, do not click on images. See, you can't sweep out of there. Things you can't unsee. So yeah, I guess I got to talk about the elephant in my room at this point. Many of you know me and know what I'm about to talk about. It's going to be a little sad when I bring it up, but I'll hopefully bring the mood back up and make it fun for you by the end of the show. But the sad truth of the matter is I lost my wife last summer. We went to the mall, I turned around, what the hell, she's gone. I didn't lose her. I didn't lose her, I know right where she is. She's on the mantle in an urn. Not my mantle, that'd be weird, someone else's. Two stupid little jokes, just to throw it out there, just to let you know that I'm laughing at it because she insisted on laughing at it. For her diagnosis day on, she didn't stop. Some of you knew her. She didn't stop laughing. That was her whole thing. We used to play these little games. Nothing too dark either. My son and I, didn't matter. My son and she used to play this game where they make fun of the lisp that she was getting from it, right? And he'd go, can you say silly goose? And she'd go, silly goose. And they'd laugh a little bit, right? Have a little laugh, because it's important. That's how you stop from fearing the disease. That's how you challenge it. You take its power away by laughing at it. And I'd say, can you say sassafras? And she'd say, no, but I can still say, fuck you. Changes everything, man. I wanted to talk about the grief experience tonight in a comedy show, and I don't want you feeling sorry for me. This isn't a sympathy show, it's a comedy show. I don't want your pity, and I just want to talk about what the experience is like. And I don't like the term grief journey. You've heard that one, grief journey. It makes it sound like there's like luggage involved, you know, exotic locations, and me posing by a bowl of conch fritters and Belize. That's just me looking sad. There's no destination. You don't finally just arrive and there you go, I'm done, I'm all better. It doesn't work like that. It's just part of you now, right? That's like asking an amputee if they're feeling 100% now. You know. It doesn't work like that. Just take it on. It's part of, you know, a grief experience, I call it, you know, and it changes you. It changes your plans, I'll tell you that. We had all these great plans about just growing old together, you know. Going to the park, sitting on a park bench, watching the kids play on the playground, talking to strangers walking by. Well, that's a little bit different as an old man by yourself, let me tell you. Yeah. Like about 10 minutes of that. The only stranger wanting to talk to me is going to be in uniform. He's going to be asking me where I live. Changes everything about your personality. I'm not the same comic I was a year ago. I can't do the same act I used to do. I'm just not the same guy. Super like spacey, indecisive. Oh God, I'm telling you what. I'll be like in a restaurant and the server will go, "Can I warm your coffee up for you?" I'm like, well, what do you think I should do? That's not good. Spacey as hell, man. I walked around for 15 minutes today with the glasses on my head, looking for my glasses. You done that? That's fun, isn't it? Fun moment. I also called a friend recently and got their voicemail and proceeded to leave a very detailed text message. Yeah. Hi, it's Art. Period. Just calling to see how you're doing, comma. How's things going, question mark. Dot, dot, dot. I just realized I'm an idiot, exclamation point. And then the beep, the one beep, if you're satisfied with your message, press 2. And I'm like, you know what? It's not going to get any better. Let's press 2. Let's just roll the dice on that one. Yeah. Here's one that some of you have done. I've actually done this one before I was grieving. Pay for your groceries, and then you just walk away without them. Oh, yeah. That's fun, huh? You can't save face. There's nothing you can do. Nothing you can say. You know? Sir, you want your groceries? Oh, you know what? I'm going to say no. I came here, paid for them, and walk away. That was my whole intent. Mission accomplished. Leave me alone. Oh, God. That's okay. It's okay to be embarrassed. But, yeah, one thing after another. I can see I'm doing well because he's checking his phone. That's good. That's always a good sign. Getting plums here. That's not good either, man. I was getting on an escalator in Target and dropped my phone at the top of the escalator, the down escalator. Yeah. I got about 3 steps down when I realized it, and I turned around and I thought, oh, no problem. I'll just go bounding up that escalator like I've done a dozen times in my late teens and early 20s. Right? Yeah, well, 2 steps into it, reality hits, and I'm thinking, okay, everybody, pull up a chair, pop some popcorn. Show's about to start. So it's me huffing and puffing like I can barely speak, swinging my arms like Usain Bolt. And the problem was that as the cluster of people that were gathering at the top of the escalator, all they saw was some sort of an incident. They didn't see my phone, so it just looked like an old man having an episode of some sort. They're like, oh, nope, I'll take the stairs, don't worry about it. So then it was just me huffing and puffing and trying to get up there, you know, making an idiot of myself. And finally, some sweet young girl picked up my phone, realized what was happening, and brought it to me. But then I had to be like, I couldn't look anybody in the eye, so I had to like, like look really intently at my phone, like it was the phone's fault. Don't you ever do that to me again. I'm so worried about you. And then some guy at the top of the escalator actually did a little clap, a little sarcastic clap, and I wanted to flip him off, but because of the arthritis, the best I can do is like I'm shaking. That's not good. That's the best all I got, right? Oh, come on. But the anger's in there. I won't say it's not. It's in there. I'm saving it for another inappropriate time in my life, I'm sure. I'm trying not to be angry all the time, but I tell you what, I get angry at conversations that might happen. Have you done that? Where you start like a situation, you're like playing it out in your head and having this little back and forth, and you're building it up and working yourself up. That's not healthy. It'll be like, oh man, that security guard better not tell me I can't park here. He had better not say anything to me, because if he does, I have got some preemptive rage. Ready for that hypothetical asshole. Yeah, you better walk away. That's right, sir. You just better. Yeah, that's what I thought, you know. And then if he does come over and say, could you wait to park here? You know what I'll say? Yes, sir, you bet I will, no problem. I'm a tough guy. And I don't believe in expressing your anger. I think it's better to stuff it in there deep. Right? Pack it in there like gunpowder in a musket. Tighter. And then later on, at some completely inappropriate moment, boom, up you go. Everybody wonders what just happened to Thanksgiving dinner. Like Art hates pumpkin pie so much. It's all right. I'll get better. I'm getting better. Tried meditating, but that didn't work. Worst mantra in the world, it's, oh my God, I've got so much to do today. I gotta call, I gotta get some airline tickets, I gotta do the laundry, I gotta put some guy, what the fuck am I sitting here for? No, I can't smoke weed. I can't smoke weed because I had a heart event in '03, and I'm worried it'll kill me. So, you know, yeah, my heart kind of quit beating for about 6 minutes in there. And I learned at that time, you tend to drop what you're doing. Nothing quite so urgent. They can't wait till you have a pulse again. And Catherine saved me. She threw me down there like a rag doll. Did the chest compressions until the paramedics got there and hooked me up to the van or something. I don't know what they did. They took your nipples up. I don't know what they do. I was unconscious. I don't know. All I knew is I woke up in the hospital like 6 days later, wondering, what the hell was that movie we were watching? Jesus. But yeah, I can't smoke weed after that. Doctor didn't tell me I couldn't. I just know that I don't want to risk it. You know what I mean? Because that's a buzzkill for pretty much any party, really. One guy dies, you got to throw away all the chips and dip, you know. Face plant and the ranch dip, that's a buzzkill for everyone around. So I quit smoking the weed, which is a shame. Bad timing. It's so much easier to get now. God, why do you guys don't know how hard it was to get weed? Now, some of you already know. You remember when it was hard to get weed, right? Oh, man. It was fun, say? Yeah. Okay. It was an adventure. Yeah, you'd have to go, like, meet some guy named Spike in the parking lot. 7-Eleven, right? Yeah. And then you'd have to, like, go back to his apartment, listen to all this shitty music for an hour. Right? Yeah, adventure time. hoping he wouldn't kill you and stuff you in his closet. And then eventually, usually he'd bring out the weed, right? And you'd walk out of there feeling like a low-level badass. Guess what I just did? I just committed a $50 misdemeanor. You better back off, you. Extra. Yeah, and then for a while, it got a little easier to buy weed. Remember that period of time when all you had to do was go to the doctor and make up some lame story to him? Yeah, I've been getting anxiety every time I start to run out of weed. You take that prescription to the smokatorium and have to choose between like more flavors than Baskin and Robbins, right? Holy crap. Nowadays, geez, when I was buying weed, we had 2 choices of weed, 2 strains. We had here and not here. Right? AKA, do you want this or don't you? That's all you had. You were happy to have it. When you had to walk barefoot both ways, no. No, I can't be smoking weed anyhow. What am I talking about weed for? I got a kid, man. I got to be better. He's down to 1 parent, man. I got to, he doesn't have a spare anymore. I got to be a good parent, and better than I probably was growing up. Man, poor kid, having a comedian for a dad. How bad does that suck, right? Oh my God. I remember when he was a little kid, reading a book to him, because, you know, that's what you're supposed to do, right? Reading a book, and it was called The Little Nut Brown Hare, right? Which doesn't really roll off the tongue. You know what I mean? You know what does roll off the tongue? The little brown nut hair. Once you've said it that way, good luck saying it the right way afterwards. Yeah, so then that's 10 minutes of me explaining to my 5-year-old why Daddy's laughing and what therapy is and why he's going to need it someday. Yeah, and then he got to be a teenager. I remember he was heading off to a party one night, and I told him, look, Liam, I know there's going to be, I don't know about tonight, but one of these nights you're going to be doing some drinking, and I'm not saying I'm condoning it. I'm just saying I know it's probably going to happen. I want you to know if you're ever in a situation where you've maybe had a couple of drinks and you're feeling a little bit of a buzz, seriously, Liam, side streets. Father of the Year. Good. My watch won't turn on. I don't know how long I've been up here. I gotta be healthy. That's the point. I do have to be healthy. I gotta start watching my weight, which I'm working on it. I don't know what diet plan to go on though, right? I have friends that do all these different diet plans. One friend did one of those low carb deals. All it seemed to do was wind her up. All she wanted to do was just blah, 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 blah. Ah, guess what I had for breakfast? Oh, you'll never guess what I had for breakfast. Oh, I don't know, Ritalin? Because she was in a state of ketosis. Ketosis, it's a scientific term. What that does for you, it actually tricks your brain into thinking that people give a shit about your diet. On you go, blah, 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 blah. Nobody cares. Yeah. I knew one guy got on that Atkins diet, and that was so annoying, man. He was on it for 1 month. He lost 8 friends. What to do. I signed up for one of those diet websites. I thought, well, this will be good, right? I'm going to sign up for a diet website, and I thought I paid like $10 a month. And looking back, probably should have paid a little more, because all it was a bunch of diet tips, a bunch of advice. It was $10 a month worth. Stuff like, instead of a dessert, why not go for a walk? Oh, let me think. Oh, I know, because I'm hungry and I have nowhere to go, right? I'm gonna wander around looking for something. Maybe I know, I can walk to the bakery. How about that? You know? Or here's the other tip. Instead of a steak, why not substitute a salad? Oh, wait. Oh, here's why. Because a salad's not actually a food. Sorry, vegetarians in the audience. Salad is an activity at best. Salad is what you eat right before you pound down a steak, a potato, and a dessert. So you can go, shouldn't have that salad. Croutons were huge. I'll eat anything, that's my real problem, man. Eat one of those free-range chickens, you know the ones, the Whole Foods? Yeah, they're allowed to run free, pampered like the family pet, right up until the day they killed it. Yeah, it tasted surprised. That's why they chop their heads off, so they're not looking at you in the store like, I thought you liked me, what the hell? My vegetarian friend doesn't like that joke at all. She hates it. She's like, would you eat a chicken if you had to kill it yourself? Right? Have you see a few people nodding out there that would? Yeah? Okay. You have probably, right? No, but you've thought about it quite a bit, haven't you? How you do it?
Especially Dave's.
Dave's chickens. Our neighbors have chickens, so we've all thought about killing them, haven't Yeah. I don't know. I prefer to think of my chickens that I eat dying peacefully in their sleep. Pretty sure. That's probably what's happening. Family all gathered around in a circle, holding like wings or whatever the chickens do, crying a little bit. And the doctor taking his little chicken pulse and going, well, he's gone. Seems a shame to let him go to waste, so don't you think? What do you say we honor his memory with a little white wine and gravy and mashed potatoes? It'll be white wine, right? Because it's chicken. White wine with chicken, right? Yes, white wine, white meat, racist. Yeah, no, I like the wine. I do like wine. Wanking it? Did I just say that? Like, drinking it was what I was trying to get at there. Something's going on in here. I like it. I just don't really like talking about it. A number of my friends like to go wine tasting. We've gone and enjoyed it. I like it. I don't, and it's good for you. I read that 1 glass of wine for every risk factor of a heart attack is good, right? Which I'm up to 8 glasses a day. Good. I like it. I just don't like talking about it because, you know, a lot of people, like people that I hang with, generally aren't pretentious about it. You know people, though, in the wine industry, know people that do get pretentious, right? Certainly you've seen them. And they show up and they start talking about it and making up all kinds of shit. You know, they start talking about it like it's a little teeny person. Here's the one that gets me. So I find this Cabernet to be confident. Yet slightly confused. You're confused. Start giving it personality traits, and they start making up smells that aren't in there. I know you've seen this before. I'm talking to him because he's called viticulturist. Is that the word I'm looking for? Winemaker. See, now I sound like a pretentious bitch. There you go. You've heard them though. You know what I'm saying. They start making up smells that aren't in there. Oh, you know, they just come on like, nutmeg. With traces of hullberry. That's not even a berry. What are you talking about? And then I was always the idiot in the back of the room. Grapes. I nailed it. Pretty sure. It's grapes. I'm such a little child sometimes. I find the best way to end that pretentiousness at a wine tasting point just to pass the tiniest amount of gas. And then you know, pumpkin. Traces so with the barnyardy finish. So I due for another colonoscopy this year. Looking forward to that one. Have you had it recently? Have you had one recently? Tuesday. This coming Tuesday or last Tuesday? It's coming Tuesday? All right, so you're out just loading up on carbs right now, aren't you?
Amen.
And cheers, carbs and lots of roughage. Get that going. Yeah, no fun. And when I first started looking at it with my previous insurance company many years ago, they wouldn't pay for it all. It was like a $3,500 out of pocket, right? Which I'm not sure what pocket you're talking about. I looked at all mine. Yeah, so I couldn't afford that. Shit, you know, I could afford a GoPro. Special slim edition. And an awkward phone call to one of my basketball buddies. Hey, I don't know what you're doing on Tuesday, but hear me out before you say no. What kind of beer do you like, you know? I want to do that again, but you got to do it. You got to be careful, man. Things happen. You got to be healthy. Like I say, I got to be around for my kid as long as I can. Got to do whatever I can do to help him through things and deal with it himself. And I also won't have to worry about another kid because Catherine had talked me into a vasectomy about 20 years ago, which seems like a big joke right now, big practical joke. For one thing, I don't have the sex drive that I ever had before, and I'm fine with that. You know what? I don't feel like I need a pill to fix it. I'm sorry. I don't feel like there's erectile dysfunction going on. You know what? My unit is functioning exactly like a 70-year-old man should. Which is to say, it is retired. That's right. Finished its tour of duty. Thank you for your service. Go home, sit on the porch, and smoke a cigar. Do not visualize that. But yeah, we had the vasectomy. And I guess I'm glad I did. I don't know. So right now it seems like having a full cable package and no television, but whatever. Whatever. It's just, any other guys have had the vasectomy? You've been clipped, snipped? Anybody besides me? In the back? Oh, the guy with the colonoscopy in here? Okay. All right. And here's what I was trying to find out when I was trying to figure out how much time to leave off work. Like, how much pain would be involved? Did you have a lot of pain? No. See?
Bag of keys.
He said yes. Thank you. Where were you when I was asking? Every guy I talked to was like, oh, no problem. It's like a bee sting. Didn't hurt. Yeah, brought a pogo stick home from it. Hopped on a mechanical bull that night. Didn't bother me one little bit. Enjoyed it. 2 days after mine, I'm driving to Tacoma, big bag of frozen peas in my balls. And going into the procedure, the doctor actually goes, get this, he goes, would it be all right if my intern sat in and observed the procedure? Did you get that? I was like, Doc, look, if I'm having my teeth cleaned, set up some bleachers. Let's turn this into an event. But if I've got my private parts hanging out in the wind, maybe we should keep the numbers down to, I don't know, you and me. How'd that be? Right? Trouble was, all of that came out more like, okay. Whoopsie daisy. That's fine, except for halfway through it, you know, and then it worked. And I know it worked because 2 months afterwards, you got to bring in that specimen. You remember that big day? I'm going to tell you, that was a very difficult task for this Presbyterian minister's child to do. That's an activity I had never done up to that point, just to show it to somebody before. I was really uncomfortable with it. I brought them the tiniest amount, gave that to the nurse, and that was embarrassing enough. And then she goes, "Is that it?" Like I'm holding out on her. All right, you got me. I had some in my wallet. I was saving it. Okay. All right, well, I think I'm going to quit there and say happy Valentine's to my beautiful Catherine, wherever she is, and thank you guys for being here for this night. Our crew, ladies and gentlemen.
Come on, he's back on stage, ladies and gentlemen. Art Crew. That's the secret to comedy. Just be stubborn. Keep doing it and doing it. I've been using Rogaine for 30 years, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Calvin, with a full head of hair. One more time for our crew, dude. Now, Art, there are advantages to turning 70. You know that, right? Yeah. No jury duty. Don't have to do it. Right? Did you know that?
Is it a bathroom thing?
I never did jury duty. Never did it. I had a foolproof method. I would get called to jury duty, and I would walk in to the whole pool and scream, "Lars Larson is guilty!" And that was it. Not a funny joke, but it got me out of jury duty, ladies and gentlemen. Art, would you like to do 20 more minutes and end on a laugh? Yeah. Here's a new joke I wrote today. This is called Losing the Crowd at the Critical Moment, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it's nothing has changed really in entertainment and news. If it bleeds, it leads, and sex sells, right? So I looked at the new PBS comedy, PBS lineup. It's Antique Roadshow Full Frontal. Okay, not bad. Thank you. So I want you to know before I go, and I'm really trying to end on a laugh. So we may be here for a while. This is the show you saw tonight, and I'm glad you came out. Is a better show that during the past year at the Kennedy Center. So at least there's that. Oh, now you just want to end the show. This is sympathy applause right now. Have a hand for Mo Rahman, who worked so hard for Mo. Keep at it, buddy. And a big hand for my pal, Art Crew. Give Art a round of applause. He's back. It's nice to see so many of my students, Alice and Calvin and Nate and yes. That would be Nate's agent. And remember, PortlandComedy.com is the place you can sign up for improv classes, for stand-up classes, and all great shows here at the new You like the new location? Isn't it great? Really nice. You guys have been wonderful. Thanks for coming out tonight. Have a great rest of the evening. Thank you so much. Good night.